Imagine you've splashed out £390, $500, on a storage unit, in the hope it would have something good inside, only to open it and find £5.8 million, $7.5 million, in stacks of cash. Yes, £5.8 million in physical cash. Just let that sink in for a moment. This is exactly what happened on the US hit show Storage Wars, as auctioneer Dan Dobson took to social media to share that a man who'd bought a locked storage unit found a safe filled to the brim with cash. Amazing considering the show's guests usually tend to find battered old cars and odd jars. The show is based on the premise that locked-up storage units that have not been paid for 3 consecutive months are allowed to be auctioned off by the owner, and on the show, storage hunters are always on the lookout for hidden gems. In the video above, Dobson explains the amazing find, saying, "An older Asian woman at the table next to me kept looking at me like she wanted to tell me something. Eventually she walked up and told me her husband works with a guy who bought a unit from me for $500 and found a safe inside." He goes on to tell the story of how the man found a safe inside the unit, but what was in the safe made the story a whole lot more interesting. He says, "The first person they called to open it, I guess couldn't or didn't. They called a second person, and when that person opened it up, inside the safe they're normally empty, but this time it wasn't empty. It had $7.5 million, £5.8 million, cash inside. The absolutely jaw-dropping amount was stacked up and covered in paper with no indication as to how or why it had been left there. $7.5 million inside of a unit, I don't think you'd forget it, but maybe you were just in a position where somebody else was in charge of it. I don't know." Dan continues in the full video. His wife Laura also offers a few suggestions, saying, "Credit card went bad, it was finished, they moved away, perhaps the person went to jail. Who knows what it was?" But regardless of why the money was there, I think we can all agree it's an incredible find. Talk about the sale of the century. Some pretty amazing things have been found on the US show, but nothing quite like this. Maybe one day you'll be this lucky. Until then you can always hope.